Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the horror show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
Robert Wolfman.
Marcia.
And Jaime and Fuego, yeah.
And we are here to review the brand new 2021 Candyman. Yes, this is something we've been awaiting for quite a while now. And after we do a review, stick around. We're going to add on a little quick unboxing that we got. Special thanks to Frost Communications and Universal Pictures for getting us a screener to be able to watch the movie a little early. So we greatly appreciate that. Thank you guys so much, as well as for the mystery box too. So yeah, stick around if you want to see what we got from that. But we're going to keep this review as a non-spoiler review, but we are going to get into it like we normally do. We'll talk about our overall thoughts, then we'll talk about the story, the acting, the effects, all of that good stuff in turn. And if I had to start it off, I will say that I definitely enjoyed the movie. It was a lot shorter than I was kind of anticipating it would be, and after watching it, I kind of wish it was a little bit longer because I enjoyed what I got, but I feel like we could have used a little bit more. So ultimately, I was pleased with what we got. I just wish there was a little more of it. So yeah, that's my overall. Robert?
I'm pretty much on the same spot as where Cecil was and everything. I definitely enjoyed this movie from beginning to end. I was, especially with how they tied everything together. This was really nicely well done. Hell, even an additional 15 minutes would have done so much more, just even for on like backstory on the various entities that have come out throughout the years and everything like that, through Candyman's legend, if you will. But you know, this was definitely fun and worth checking out. Marcia?
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was right in line with the franchise. I thought it was beautifully shot. The sound design was amazing. The acting was great. It was really well rounded. I think a lot of it is just like the third act. Like, it was a good third act, but it could have been pushed a little bit more. I felt like we didn't get like a big finale, and I think that's kind of where we were lacking in the movie. Like, there was no big payoff, or it just felt kind of rushed. But overall, I thought it was really well done. And it's funny because, you know, in the other Candymans, they are longer movies, and people are like, why is it so long? And now we're asking it to be longer.
Yeah.
We want that extra more. So that says a lot about the movie in itself that you want more. So
Yeah, so it's interesting when you have a film that basically is exactly what you expect it to be. There was a lot of theorizing about how much of a direct sequel this would be, what was going to transpire, changing of the mantle, whatever, and it pretty much delivered everything I expected solidly. But the original is just such a timeless classic, especially with that Philip Glass score. It has to exist in the shadow of that original film, and so for that reason, while I enjoyed it, I definitely didn't love it. So, but it's solid.
But the nice thing about this movie is it still shines out on its own, even from the other ones. It being like we were saying, it's a direct continuation from the other films. So it's a nice melding of the original lore and then almost a semi-finalization of it. But they left it open for possible others.
Oh yeah.
Well, you knew that was going to happen.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So yeah,
but sometimes they can leave it open to where it's pretty lackluster, and they left it open to intriguement.
So getting into the story, it is definitely a direct sequel to the first one all these years later, and it kind of sidesteps 2 and 3. I don't even remember 2 and 3, so I can't even say whether or not I enjoyed this more than 2 or 3 because it's been a long time since I've seen them, but I definitely enjoyed it. It's about Anthony, who is an artist in the Chicago area, and he and his girlfriend are, he's trying to refine his artistic muse while she has to do with the actual art gallery that he's, trying to get stuff ready for. And as he is trying to find his muse, he discovers the story of Candyman via this gentleman that he meets nearby the local laundromat. And he finds out what the story of Candyman is. It's not necessarily the story of Candyman that we know, at least not initially. And so that's where they start to build this further Candyman lore, which I really enjoyed. And Anthony sort of becomes obsessed with the legend, and he, just like Helen in the first movie, starts to get a little in over his head as far as all of that goes. Again, without spoiling anything. Now, I will say that I really appreciated how the story unfolded outside of the, as we said, sort of lackluster third act and finale. I mean, I know that they were trying to make that seem like the big finale, but I agree with Marcia. It felt a little rushed for me. But otherwise, the story played out very interestingly, very intriguingly, and I am glad that they expanded the lore the way that they did.
I really don't have much else to really add on that because that's about what I was going to talk about for the story anyways. So, yeah. No, we're good,
Yeah, I really enjoyed the way they connected the Candyman story and the legend of it and how they just reinforced the metaphors of it while speaking to the audience in a different way. It's the same story and it's an extension of the story, but it's bringing in a new generation in a way where they can appreciate it, you know? And how they even say in there, as time changes, some things stay the same. And it's like the basis of the story, you know, so the same thing will happen over and over again, even if it has different faces. So I thought that was really cool in how they presented that message throughout the movie. And it's the same message we've been hearing since the first one, which is really interesting. But I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I think they could have played a little bit more into it and gave us a little bit more at the end. But it
especially
definitely,
the backstory stuff
Yeah.
of the original Candyman and things like that.
It's just when they finally made that connection on the how everything related, it just kind of was like, okay, here you go, now we're done, you know.
Yeah, it's
and
like, oh yeah, there's this and this and this and everything, but then there was this.
There wasn't that slow like intrigue that we got in the first ones that kind of like it's almost like titillizing in a way, like the sensational part of it and just the real and the tension and just kind of like making you feel that fascination, but at the same time, like, it was pretty intense at times when you actually got to...
Yeah, there were some pretty hardcore scenes that I was really happy with.
Yeah, but I don't know, I think it's feeling that essence of, like, just the slow intrigue in a way. I don't know if I'm coming across right. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean that's where it's tougher though, right? Because of the fact that the rules have been established for this particular villain, and so it's not going to have that freshness, obviously, that the first film did. Because you know, we're all supposed to be aware of it. I did find it mildly predictable as far as like, you know, where we were going and you know the connection with, you know, the first film as far as who this lead character is and stuff. And so aside from that, I thought the dialogue was very well written, and as we segue into acting, I didn't really see a poor performance at all from anybody. So
no, everyone held up very well,
especially our lead.
Yeah, especially our lead who played Anthony and everything. He was great. I know I've seen him in something else. I just can't remember it.
He was in Aquaman.
Oh yeah, he was Black Manta.
Was that okay? Okay, so then there you go. But anyway, no, he did great. So did his the girl who played his wife, her brother. The
brother was great.
The brother was hilarious and everything. Yeah, I like that character a lot. He was fucking sassing him.
Indeed.
But yeah, no, even our smaller characters, from our douchey art director or art gallery coordinator, whatever. Everyone played their parts really well, and it was authentic. Nothing felt forced per se, except for one or two characters, but that was towards the end.
Marcia?
Yeah, it felt very genuine. Like everybody felt like they were in it and were true to the storytelling, and I really enjoyed it.
They all had really good chemistry working with each other, and you could definitely tell that they enjoyed what they were doing on set that day and everything, because you could tell with certain people on filming if they're in it or not.
No, they definitely everybody seemed committed, and they all did a fantastic job. But yeah, Anthony was a perfect fit, I think, for this role. Just the deterioration of his mental state, I thought they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, his scenes, especially with the dude at the laundromat, I found to be very chilling and effective. I thought that guy's performance was really good too,
yeah.
As far as bringing the creepiness and such.
Yeah, because he that character too, especially, he made you feel for him in the initial part, especially with the backstories of things that happened to him and shit.
So, you guys have covered the acting pretty well, but I do want to touch on sort of the feel of the movie a little bit, because I think the first movie had such a particular feel, and the length and the pacing sort of added to it. This movie kind of moved pretty quickly, and I feel like the pacing, while it wasn't poor pacing, it just wasn't as engaging of pacing, because you didn't have as much time to sit and ruminate, and there wasn't quite as much fact finding as Helen did in the first movie, which all helped build the story. So again, it comes down to, I think this movie could have done with being longer, but I did want to touch on the directing. Again, this was produced by Jordan Peele, but it was directed by Nia DaCosta, and I think the direction was really well done.
Strong.
I would agree, especially for, you know, like we were talking off camera earlier before we did all this, that she doesn't have a very big resume for directorial stuff. Fuego, you were telling me about a movie that you'd watched that you thought was really well done.
It's called Little Woods. It's with Tessa Thompson and then Lily James. It's kind of like a drama thriller sort of thing. But I just saw like the talents on display there, and I was like, oh, if they're giving her Candyman, you know, it's gonna be solid from a
and that was
standpoint.
one of those things. It's like, all right, she might not have had a major resume, but you still kind of keep that mind open for that fresh outlook on an old tale. And she did fucking damn good.
I was gonna say Jordan Peele handpicked her. So.
And the story is based in, you know, it's heavily based in police brutality, which is evident in the trailers, if you've seen any of the trailers for it. So don't go in, you know, I know I'm gonna hear some complaints about how, they just focused on, you know, evil white policemen yet again, but you know, that's the basis for the story, and it's a fact of certain communities that they have to still deal with that in today's day and age. So
and it's obviously more prescient now too, you know.
Well, and one of the things that I liked, one of the choices that the filmmakers made, I don't know if this was specifically Nia's choice or not, but all the backstories that we got were told in that paper puppet style.
Really cool.
That was evident in the trailers, and they used it for the backstories, the flashbacks, so to speak. And I feel like that was really smart, and it added to the storybook quality of the lore itself. And so I dug that. I dug the actual production itself. I thought the cinematography was also gorgeous and utilized interestingly. Like one camera shot in particular that Marcia was very taken by, that was something happens while the camera is doing something that you're not used to them doing this in this way, and it's really cool when it happens. So they definitely knew what they were doing.
When they're pulling out. Oh, dude, that scene was so badass, because again, you didn't really you expected it to happen without necessarily knowing it was going to happen. Especially like you more so in that scene, it would cut back to them in the apartment, and then shit would go sideways.
So they utilized the cinematography to assist with the actual storytelling a lot more than certain directors tend to. So I got to give credit for that.
Absolutely.
You guys, as far as all the production aspects?
Oh, it's fantastic, especially too. Even I'll give it credit on the like the opening credit scene. How they were shooting through the buildings and whatnot, basically reversed upside down and everything. So it was looking like all the skyscrapers were floating through the clouds. Like it was really cool. It was really well done, and obviously like all the end credits too. That was nicely done because it went back into the old puppeteering kind of paper mache stuff. It was really well done, and it was a beautiful looking movie.
I love how creative she was with her shots, and how it wasn't even just like creative just to be different. It was intentional, and it just brought you into a different perspective of the story, and which is kind of what you're looking for, right? And in any movie you watch, you don't want to watch the same thing over and over again. And even though it's, you know, more of a story that we already know, she presented it in a way that was just unique and just eye-opening. Like there's gonna be so many people are gonna try to copy this. Like a lot of the shots that are very unique and cool in the storytelling, you're gonna see it popping up, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna be because of her vision. And by watching the movie, you can see that she had like a vision, and she executed brilliantly. And like I just
even some of the shots, like when he was painting towards the end, middle of the third act and everything, some of the ways she shot that, especially the upward shots, those were really nice and looked really good, and it gave that little bit more of a mind meld for what he's kind of going through.
Yeah, it was the use of mirrors that I thought was one of the most ingenious aspects of the way she shot it. Like only being able to see him in the reflection, and so whether it's like, you know, a full-on mirror, like a little compact or whatever, it had an essence of sophistication to it, in the way that she approached it from a directorial standpoint. And
then I had to mention the music and the sound design. I thought the music was good, especially the sound design though was phenomenal. The sound design was great in the first movie, and They use it to great effect here again, you know, when there's attacks going on the other side of the door, and all you hear is the scraping of bone and crunching and gouging of flesh.
There
and all
was a
that
couple
stuff.
scenes like I literally like there was the
the
fingernail
fingernail,
scene,
yeah.
like man,
is in one of the
it's just, like I
trailers,
said, it just PTSD to what do you call it?
Stir of Echoes.
Yeah, Stir of Echoes. That damn scene. Seriously, out of all like dismemberment things I could watch, it's something about getting your damn fingernails ripped off. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Skin crawl, man.
It should, because it's horrible.
It is horrible.
Sound design and music for you guys?
Solid, yeah. I mean, still, as I mentioned earlier, it's really tough to compete with that Philip Glass score that is just so incredibly iconic. But, I mean, it still was, you know... Well,
But it was really original, though, and it was still modern, but I would pull out the retro word at the same
I
time.
don't know. There's a few times that I like outwardly said I cannot get over the sound design. It's amazing. Like it really puts you where you need to be, and it's just it's a full package. Like I don't know. I just appreciate this movie so much because it's an extension of one of my favorite franchises. So and she just nailed it because it could go so wrong. And yeah, it's not going to be like the original, and it's just more of it's an updated version of it in a new perspective, which I appreciate. But the sound is amazing sound design. Like, yeah, it's not as iconic as just as original, but it's not just about the music. It's everything, and it just is the extension of the story as it should be.
And I definitely noticed though that when we wear the headphones and watch it, as opposed to being in a theater,
absolutely,
there is so much more nuance that you get to pick up on.
So slight little noises and everything.
I don't
Hell,
think
even
you would've
listen, same thing
picked
even
up
with
on them
with
if we were
music
just-
and everything like that. You put headphones on versus listening on a stereo.
Much more immersive experience.
Exactly, you're gonna hear all those little things that you missed.
Yeah.
Now, the last thing that we need to discuss is, of course, the effects. And there were a lot of them, although I don't think there were as many effects as we got in the first one. And especially, again, the end felt a little rushed, so it didn't feel like there was as big of a set piece ending as there was in the first movie. And so there were definitely some cool practical effects, and people with the fear of little holes are not going to do well with some particular makeup
Yeah, that was messed up.
evolves throughout the movie. So beware anyone that has, I think it's like tryptophobia or something like that.
Some nasty ass shit like that.
But there's a lot of good practical effects and a lot of cool blood spilling and things like that, even though the actual kills are done seemingly more off camera than before.
Yeah, part of me was I was kind of okay with some of like the off camera kills just because again it gives you your mind a little bit time to exercise and create that kill in your head. I know. Don't sassafras me, Cecil.
Just saying.
All right, god damn it.
I don't pay money to use my imagination. I pay money for you guys to show me what you want to show me.
Yeah, well, you can still use your brain. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to check it off for a movie.
Intimacy.
It's okay.
That's what I'm thinking of. That's what it's missing. It's missing the intimacy.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's what I was trying to come.
Not
A
nearly
little
enough.
heavier though on like some of the gore scenes would have been nicer. Obviously, some more visuals of the kills.
Yeah, it was primarily just slash throats and
Yeah,
like that, so.
but honestly though, the design of Candyman and things like that for the makeup, and it looked good.
I thought the makeup
it
was
didn't
great
look
in this
overly
movie.
heavy-handed or comic-y or anything like that. It literally looked like a tortured soul and everything.
Oh yeah, and just the progression of his transformation, so to speak.
Well, the last thing I'm going to say is I don't think there was nearly enough Candy voice. We didn't even really get it until a particular point. And at that point, I was like, "Oh yeah, where was that all movie?" That was a bit disappointing.
And that's what that's the intimacy I'm thinking about, because in all the other movies, Candyman was seducing his victim to convert them over to his side, and in order to do as he will with them or whatever, as he killed everybody else along the way. But we didn't get any of that. Like, it was a seduction, but it was a different type of seduction, which was just, it was interesting, but it wasn't...
It was a little revisionist in that regard, I would say.
I feel like we needed a little bit more candy in my man.
He was seduced by the story instead of the man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Any final thoughts from you guys?
I was just going to leave that joke alone. He's like, oh, you got seduced by a man, huh?
Is it worth going to the theater for, you guys think?
Honestly, I think this would still be a worthy theater watch. Most definitely.
Oh, I mean, it depends on if you want to risk it or not, but it would be nice to have a crowd around you for it, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think certain
I'm
beats
sorry,
might
I
play a little bit better.
still like the theater experience on the big-ass screen, and can't hear half the time and everything. Or you get deaf from the speaker right next to your ear.
Well, guys, then I think that's going to do it for our thoughts on Candyman. Sorry for the lengthier review, but obviously there's 4 of us, so it's going to be a little longer than
And you like it.
a review by people that are just 1 or 2 people. So, if you guys sound interested, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you've seen it, let us know what your thoughts are. I'm very curious. Keep it spoiler free though, as we tried to do here. So, thank you to our patrons for supporting the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Again, thank you to Frost Communications and to Universal Pictures for allowing us to watch this movie early for review. We greatly appreciate it. We have a very special unboxing for you guys today. The lovely people over at Frost Communications and, of course, Universal Pictures sent over a rather sizable box for Candyman 2021 by Nia DaCosta. So we are going to crack into this thing and see what kind of fun stuffs that we got sent. So
hopefully nothing spoilery.
No.
That was our only concern.
Yes, exactly. So we are going to do this, and then we are going to sit down and actually watch the new Candyman and record our review afterwards. So you guys are going to get a very Candyman week here. And I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Oh, is there a different? Oh, there's a different box. Oh, okay. All right.
A box within a box.
There's a box within a box. But
I can't handle the suspense. Why would you do this?
all right, this is a cooler box anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Way cooler box.
Super sweet.
All right, so now that we have it open, let's go ahead and see what we got. Now, don't look.
Dwells inside.
Don't look.
Eyes are covered.
Oh, man, that's something heavy. All right, I'll grab something heavy.
All right.
Oh, okay. We got some raw honey. Of course, that makes sense for the Candyman-averse. So a little bit of raw honey there. Marcia, you want to reach in for the next item?
Okay. All right, got this thing.
Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Infinite object.
Oh. What is it?
I'm trying to figure that out too.
Share your unboxing with us.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, it turns on. Pick
on.
it up. The video print turns on.
I dare you. Okay.
Like magic. Find the perfect spot in your home
That's pretty slick.
for your infinite object.
Oh, that's cool.
I was meant to be always on, forever looping.
Huh. So I'll bet you can take this little plastic thing off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're left with this. Oh, great. I'm not going to be able to.
It's so glary.
There you go. And it comes in with Candyman and then a bunch of bees flying on. So that's kind of cool.
That
And
is fun.
apparently it goes forever. Infinite object.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll put that right back there.
Infinite
And
object, infinite evil.
So cool.
that is cool. Is there something else in here? It feels heavy still. Oh, okay. So just a charger for it.
device.
Nice. Okay,
I guess
cool.
it's not that infinite.
Fair enough. All right.
So
Fuego,
like,
you want to
heavens
reach in for the next
of
one?
forever. I need those
Jumping
batteries
in.
in my phone.
So without looking,
I don't know how many objects there are. We might have reached the end.
I was going to say, it's feeling relatively barren in here.
Oh, no. Did
Yeah.
Fuego not get an item?
Maybe not. I think that was it.
Oh, no. Just the
You
two.
got that?
Okay.
You
Yeah.
got this?
Yeah, go ahead. See what that is.
This is just a little bit of promotional explanation. Candyman ain't a he. Candyman's the whole damn hive. Links to a Snapchat, and yeah, cool, I guess.
All right. All right. Well, then I tell you what,
feel so left out.
since it was a
Here, do you
little bit of
wanna
a
open
smaller
that again?
unboxing, maybe we'll just go ahead and add this to the end of our review.
Yeah.
So that way you guys don't have to have a separate little 4-minute video for 2 items. But still, nonetheless,
I mean, it's super
this
awesome.
Ever On, which is now off, Candyman thing is really cool if it stays on. So maybe I need to pick it up again and make it think that it was put away. Anyway,
Or the charging process. Yes.
thank you very much, Universal and Frost
Absolutely.
Communications. We greatly
Thanks.
appreciate
This
it.
is
We are
amazing.
definitely excited to check this movie out, and I'm guessing you guys may have already seen some or all of the review at this point, but thank you very much.
Yeah.
Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird,
Oh, Wolfman.
Marcia Burger.
Gracias también, Fuego.
and remember, stay scared.
Scared.